Alright, so this is the POCO F7 Ultra from Xiaomi, which I've been using for the past 24 hours, and I'm shooting this video a day before its global launch in Singapore. So this is a very impressive budget flagship, which, to be honest, I think it kills pretty much every smartphones that cost under 3,000 ringgit. This smartphone is powered by Snapdragon 8 Elite processor. It has up to 16GB of RAM and 512GB of storage, but most importantly, it starts at just 2,999 ringgit, which is super crazy for a Snapdragon 8 Elite powered smartphone, because most smartphones with these processors would have cost at least 3,500 ringgit or even more. So what does the POCO F7 Ultra has to offer over the more expensive flagships? Let me tell you all about it. Let's start off by talking about the design and build quality of the POCO F7 Ultra, which I think many of you might assume that Xiaomi has cut corners to make this such an affordable device. But quite the contrary, the POCO F7 Ultra is a very well built device. Now, it is built with an aluminum frame, which actually feels very nice and solid. I love the frosted glass back material here, and it is not using Gorilla Glass, but rather it is using a different shield glass, but it is pretty drop resistant. So I really love this signature POCO yellow color on the back here. This is in fact the launch color of this phone, and there's some geometry design on the top here that makes it look really unique. So to be honest, I think this phone isn't meant to be used with a case, but if you want to protect the phone, Xiaomi still continues to provide a TPU case inside the box that actually feels pretty solid. Now, where I think Xiaomi kind of like save costs is probably the design here. Now, this round camera bump here is very unlike previous POCO phones where it has a big bar on the top here, but if I recall correctly, this is something that is probably reused from the POCO F2 Pro, if I recall correctly. But yeah, it is kind of like a pretty generic camera bump design that we're seeing right here, with like no watch bezel design and all that. So yeah, this is probably where Xiaomi has kind of saved costs a little. But when it comes to the durability of the POCO F7 Ultra, it is where it really impresses me, because this phone is IP68 rated against water and dust, which means you can submerge in water up to 1 meters for 30 minutes. This is really impressive and something that you can't get on many phones within the price range. The POCO F7 Ultra has an impressive screen specs. This is a 6.67-inch 1440p panel that refreshes at 120Hz. It shows tropic colors and supports full DCI-P3 color space, but most importantly, it has a very impressive brightness. On high brightness mode, it goes up to 1800 nits, and if you're playing HDR content, it goes up to 3200 nits. This is a screen that you wouldn't get on any phones that is within its price segment, and most importantly, it comes with an ultrasonic fingerprint reader, which is way better than any optical fingerprint readers that you get within the price segment. So yeah, this is a feature that's only usually available on 4,000 to 5,000 ringgit flagships, and I'm really glad that ultrasonic fingerprint readers are finally coming to affordable flagship phones just like this. But most importantly, it also comes with a Vision Boost D7 display engine, which can help to boost frame rates in games because it has a 120Hz panel. So that chip is responsible for offering ultra clear graphics and also smooth frame rates when it comes to gaming and watching videos. Like any other Xiaomi smartphones out there, the POCO F7 Ultra obviously ships with HyperOS 2 that's based on Android 15. However, despite looking pretty much the same, there is still a slight difference when it comes to its software experience, and probably better than some of the Xiaomi phones that runs on HyperOS 2. And that's because the POCO F7 Ultra uses the POCO launcher. Now, it looks the same like what you see on other Xiaomi phones, but there's slightly different icons right here. But what I really love about the experience here is that it doesn't come with those useless apps like hot games, hot apps, like some stupid app recommendations. Though there's still some pre-installed apps right here, but it is at least some useful ones, such as AliExpress, Amazon Music, Booking.com, and WPS Office, which is something that you will at least use and wouldn't feel like removing and find them a nuisance on your screen. Now, what I'm also very happy about the POCO F7 Ultra is that it also comes with the full suite of Xiaomi's Hyper AI. So there's a section here that you can go in and find out what are the available AI features here. Now, you get AI writing that can help you to write, compose a message and all that into the style that you would like to do, and you get a gallery editor. You can AI expand, AI remove objects and all that, which is all pretty standard features. And you even get interpret conversations with AI, so it's very useful if you're headed overseas and you want to speak to someone native in that language. It actually works pretty well. And finally, you even get things like AI subtitles, which I think is kind of not so useful for me, because I mean most video players would already have subtitles anyway, and you get AI search function as well. So yeah, you get the full suite of Xiaomi's hyper AI features on this affordable flagship, which I think if it were some other manufacturers that built an affordable flagship, and probably they would just remove some of these features because they want to sell you the more expensive phones. The camera department of POCO smartphones have never been a key selling point, because Xiaomi usually reserves that for its Mi number series that has lenses co-engineered with Leica. However, that is about to change with the POCO F7 Ultra, because the triple camera system really delivers impressive imaging results when I'm doing some photo shoot for the past 24 hours right here. Now, the camera system here consists of a 50 megapixel wide camera with OIS, and it is a light fusion 800 sensor that is very good when it comes to low light performance. It has a 50 megapixel telephoto camera with OIS as well that goes up to 2.5 times optical zoom, and a 32 megapixel ultra wide camera. Now take a look at these image samples that I've been taking around Singapore. As you can see, it has very good dynamic range, good contrast, and even when it comes to low light photos, it manages to preserve details very well and even keeps the lighting in place. The colors and everything is alright. So it's something that I would give an A- when it comes to image quality. But like I say, if you were to compare with the flagship Mi number series, of course the POCO F7 Ultra still leaves a little bit to be desired, but for what it is able to offer, I can tell you that you will not be disappointed with its camera quality. Now when it comes to its front-facing camera, it is a pretty standard 32 megapixel camera that you have been seeing on most Xiaomi phones out there, and I think it still takes pretty decent photos. When it comes to battery, the POCO F7 Ultra doesn't compromise on that either. Even though it doesn't use a silicon carbon battery with a high density capacity like you see on other phones out there, it still has a reasonably large 5300 mAh battery that supports super fast 120 watt Xiaomi hypercharged wired charging and 50 watts fast wireless charging with Xiaomi's own proprietary wireless charging dock. This is very impressive, and you don't get on other phones within the price segment, because even if you find a phone that's fitted with a large 6000 mAh battery, you usually get a pretty slow but still decent charging speed, but then you wouldn't get to have this kind of charging speed like the POCO F7 Ultra. So this is really important for people who loves to game on the phone and want to get back online faster, and the POCO F7 Ultra certainly delivers that. So yeah, that's the POCO F7 Ultra. It is the best value Snapdragon 8 Elite smartphone that you can get right now. And I think Xiaomi is going crazy on this phone, because for a limited time, you can get the 256GB model of this phone for just 2,699 ringgit, and the 512GB model costs just 300 ringgit more, which makes this the most affordable Snapdragon 8 Elite smartphone that costs under 3,000 ringgit, which is just crazy. And I really think there isn't going to be another smartphone that is going to dethrone this in the short term. Alright, so that's all for my thoughts on the POCO F7 Ultra after using for 24 hours in Singapore. So let me know what are your thoughts in the comments down below, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos coming right out, and I'll see you in the next one.